Well, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with Mike, who's brought his '88 Mustang into the shop today. It's such a cool car. We decided to do a little feature on the car and tell you a little bit about it. So, you've come a long way, Mike. I appreciate you coming. Almost 500 miles drive to get here.
Yeah, it was worth it.
And you've been here a time or two before, I guess, in order to try and get this car sorted out. But what's your latest changes to it?
Latest changes, I upgraded the Vortech Supercharger from an SC to an SI impeller upgrade. So what did we gain today? About 4 pounds of boost, just about, with that upgrade. 10
almost
to 14,
5, I think. Yeah.
Almost 5. Did an AC delete this winter. Was debating doing that, but I decided to do it. So did that, and yeah, that's about it for changes since last time I was on the dyno with you.
Okay. Yeah. Now, how long have you had this car?
I think it's about 13 years. Bought the car in Calgary here 13 years ago. When I bought it, it was like a 60,000 kilometer car, mint condition car. That's sort of what I was looking for, something I could build on and just have fun with. So yeah.
Well, I've been underneath the car. It's really clean. It's really a nice car, and I think the clock says 72K on it now. That's that's kilometers, right? And that's a true mileage, right?
Yes, exactly.
So that's under 50,000 miles.
Yeah. Yeah,
like 45,000 miles or 46,000 miles or something.
Yeah, so that's basically what I want to start with, something decent to build on rather than something that was all trashed out and all that already. So yeah.
I'm a sucker for red cars. Is this factory paint?
You bet.
Yeah, it's really nice. And it's an 88, but it's been converted to mass air, right?
Yes, it was a speed density car converted to mass air, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, this car is a pretty special car. It's not just your run-of-the-mill bolted a Vortech on a stock motor. This is a dart block car.
Dart block, 331 cubic inch. It's got all the good stuff in internals, and yeah.
AFR 185 heads.
AFR 185 heads. Yeah.
It's got that BBK what's it called, SSI or SSR intake.
Yeah, that was sort of a barn find or something you could say. I found that in Calgary actually. I wasn't sure what intake to put on the car when I was building the engine. And that one came up on Kijiji, so.
I think they're a pretty unique intake. There aren't a lot of them around. It's never been my favorite, but I'll tell you what. After seeing the car here today, it's working really good.
And with a supercharger, you're running pressurized intake anyway, so it's maybe not as important to have a really good intake. So. Yeah.
Right, and it's a Vortech. Is it a V3?
The Vortech is a V1.
V1,
yes.
Okay.
So it's oiled from the
engine,
yeah.
But then it's been upgraded impeller, so it's an SI series.
Yes, yeah, it was an SC originally, which was a stock 5-pound kit, so it's been upgraded significantly since then.
Quite a bit. It made 15 today on the dyno at like 6,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Uses an MSD ignition.
Yeah, 6AL. Yeah.
And the transmission?
It is a Termic TKO.
600?
600, yeah.
Yeah, and clutch is like a McLeod RXT, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not fully built, but it's built fairly well. It's got a few things. I have Moroso axles in it also.
Okay. Are they 31 spline?
Yes, 31 spline Morosos.
And what center section do you have?
Just stock 8.8, 355 rear end. So.
355.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's drag radials on the back, but you run true slicks at the strip,
true slick
right?
At the track, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, that kind of leads into the next question is, what are you doing with this car? Is this a Saturday night car? Are you driving it to work?
That's how I sort of started it. Like everybody kind of just thinks they're going to build a car, I think, and use them as a toy, drive it on Sundays type thing. But the longer I've had it, the more I sort of just am taking it to the track and back, basically. So keeping the miles low.
Right.
Yeah.
And you race mainly at SIR in Saskatoon, is that
SIR
correct?
in Saskatoon, yep. Yeah.
Right, so that's like a 1,200-foot elevation track.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed the seats in this car, these are definitely not original seats. What's the origin of them?
Actually, they're original seats recovered.
Recovered with vinyl, black vinyl.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they red? Were they like that red cloth?
Like everybody, we all hate the red interior, so I'm trying to reduce the amount of red in the car. So yeah, the more black we can do, the better.
I've never been a fan of the red interior. I don't think I'm alone, but I'm a fan of red cars. With the black accenting, including the seats and stuff you have, I think the interior actually looks great.
It's not bad, yeah. You reduce the red enough, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no perfect car out there, and this one came up at the time. So originally I had a 93 LX, which I thought was a much nicer car. I prefer the notchbacks myself, but this was a nice car, so grabbed it.
What have you got for suspension modifications?
Basically, it has a drag springs and shocks in the front, and same in the rear, just drag springs. They're eye-back with a bag on the right-hand side to reduce the squat on that side.
Okay.
Competition rear shocks, just the three-way adjustables.
Right.
And that's basically it. Basic.
Subframes are in the car, right?
Subframe connectors. What else? I guess that's basically
It's got upper and lower control arms in the back.
Right. Yep. You got me there.
And those rear ones are they double adjustable? I didn't just pay that close of attention.
The shocks?
The upper control arms.
They're adjustable. Yes, double adjustable. Yeah.
Okay.
Stock for an NK members, all stock.
Okay.
So it's yeah, pretty basic.
Well, we've had it on the dyno today, and I have a little bit of video of that. The car worked fantastic, and I noticed one thing that we found was somehow or other the distributor was slightly out of phase the way it was set up. So we've adjusted that and got it up to factory spec, and it always had a little bobble before, which that's completely gone.
Yep.
So I'm guessing that was a factor there for sure.
Thanks to Matt, he spotted it. I never would have found that in a million years. So that's the beauty of getting a car in a dyno.
Yeah, well, and sometimes you can look at one of these cars several times before you even see something.
Yep. This is the third time in the dyno, and I think you found something every time. So
yeah, well, that first time it was kind of a mess, right? You had like a injector wasn't working.
Yeah, one injector not firing.
And
yeah, so we had a dead cylinder the first time, but yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I think the car is a fantastic car. I
Thank
hope
you.
I'm going to give you a little walk around so you can get a closer look at it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And thanks very much for coming.
Thank you. Great.
All right.
Awesome.
This graph shows the current setup versus stock. With all the parts on this car, it has a power gain of more than 183% over stock. Or, put another way, it's almost triple the stock power and runs on straight 91 pump gas. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell so that you won't miss out on future videos.